Hello, Elke Baker here, and this is the December Scottish Fiddle Club meeting. We actually had our meeting live yesterday, but we had technical issues with the live stream and didn't have the kinds of materials we needed on hand to fix that particular problem. So I am making this live stream now that you can watch at any time to go over all the tunes in the December workshop. December's workshop focused on dance music. We do this from time to time because there are so many good dance tunes, and it also gets us ready for playing for Fiddle Club dances. Our last one was in March 2020, right before we shut everything down. And so it's been nearly 3 years since we've had a Fiddle Club dance. So it's time to get us back in shape, and hopefully sometime this spring we'll be able to schedule our own dance. So there are dance tunes of all kinds, and one of the ones that I taught first by ear at the live workshop is this one, Mrs. McDougall Grant. It's on page 10 of your music, but this is the by ear portion, so I'm going to teach this one in a little more detail. It's in the key of F, and it's best to warm up by playing an F scale and remind yourself that F is natural for violins. That's a low second finger. B is flat for violins, a low first finger. And that F first finger natural on a violin. So whatever your instrument, make sure you're playing one flat, scale of one flat, and that flat note is B. The pickup note for Mrs. Mary McDougall Grant, I'm sorry, did I say Mary? Mrs. McDougall Grant. Mrs. McDougall Grant is a tune by Nathaniel Gow. In its original form, it's in the Gow collection as a strathspey, and one of the secret tricks is to convert strathspeys into marches in order to get marches in keys that are not A and D, which is the majority of pipe marches. So if you're looking for a march in an unusual key, one of the ways to get it is by converting a strathspey. So this strathspey in its original form would sound something like this. But as a march, here's how it sounds. And that is the tune. I'm going to adjust this down just a little so you can see the fingers a bit better. All right, so our pickup note for this tune is B flat. And then the first measure starts on A. And remember that is on the downbeat is where those eighth notes are. Measure 2, B flat and D. The third measure is a variant on the first. So instead of, we go right down the arpeggio notes. Fourth measure, E, G, G. So here's our first phrase of 4 bars. And again. Now the bowing bowing is a little funny. If you're playing it on the fiddle, that's because it's designed to be played as a strathspey. The bowings work out better in strathspey time. But in the compromise that we have for getting to play a march in the key of F, which is a useful key. Remember, we had some marches in B flat in November, written by the Earl of Eglinton. And we had a march in B flat last year, Johnny Pringle's tune. So you do need some marches in F so you can get out of those B flat tunes, right? So our phrase, the next phrase starts the same. But instead of simply doing, it's a little fancier. It's a run up of eighth notes right up the scale. And now we're winding out to the finish, pickup note of D. Is those stair step scales down where you skip a note, D pickup, and then C, skip a note to A, and then up one, skip down to G, and landing on our keynote of F. Last two bars. The second phrase of the A part again. Here is the beginning of the tune, the first 8 bars, the entire A part. Now, before I speed it up, I'd like to teach the B part. So the B part is going to be working in the higher range. You don't go any higher than the note A, so that makes it easier. The pickup note is F. And here is the theme for the B part. Let me break that down. The first bar of that, a half note G, and the second bar of that, F, C, F. Put together. With the pickup. Next bar, A note is the pickup. So it's really working the scale down and up and back to F. But let's finish off the phrase because it makes a little more sense that way. End of phrase is ending on a G note. So 4 bars of the B part. Same 4 bars. All right, next phrase, next 4-bar phrase starts the same way, except the pickup note is an A. So instead of, it's, and that's as much as it resembles. That is the repeated portion. And the second bar of this phrase ends with a scale down from G. So that phrase, that second bar put together. So second phrase, 2 bars of the second phrase. And the ending of phrase, a stair-step scale, familiar from the A part, same as the ending of the A part. Here's how it fits into the second 4-bar phrase. And again. Okay, third phrase. Third phrase of the B part, third 4-bar phrase is, yep, looks like it is the same as before. So exactly the same as the first 4-bar phrase of the B part. The last 4-bar phrase, it's special because it's the wind up and the finish. 2 pickup notes, F and G, leading up to a high A. That is F, D, F. So we're actually getting a B flat chord in there for those of you, rather than sticking with an F chord for people keeping track of chords. And then the second bar of the last phrase, it's all setting up our finale. Putting 2 bars together, and the last 2 bars is a variant on our stair-step scale. This time it's just straight scales down. So the last 4-bar phrase, okay, I'm going to put together the entire tune. Just a moment here. All right. Entire tune, Mrs. McDougall Grant. All right. The other tune taught by ear at the workshop was the snowflake hornpipe. And it's explaining that I got this set of hornpipes, these particular hornpipes tunes from Chris Norman, flute player. Chris adapted them to flutier keys, but I took them from their original sources. So the snowflake hornpipe, Chris plays it in G. I play it in A because that's its source key. A lot of these hornpipes can be played slow and dotted like sailor's hornpipe, or they can be played fast at real tempo, still with a bit of dotting for country dances and things like that. So the snowflake hornpipe sounds like this. Oh, there's the mistake. Yep, so I always do that somewhere. Just proves that I am human and I'm learning these tunes too. All right, so the snowflake hornpipe in the key of A, pickup note is an E note. All right, and this tune is built on scales with a few arpeggios. So right away, the first measure uses arpeggio. After that, we've got a lot of scale work. So first measure. So that's down to a G sharp, which in this context, you can make that G a little hyper sharp if you choose. So it just sounds like a little bend of the note. Or you can make it a standard G sharp. The second measure is one that I have described as being a way of wasting some time. We're on a B note, and on the next measure, we're going to start on a B note and do something important. So for this measure, we're starting on B. We want to end on B. So basically, we're dithering around by going down, up, down the scale. So we start on B. We go down and up and down and up and down. So those notes are it's all so that we can land on B in the third measure and go right up the scale. Back down to an F sharp so we can set up the next measure. All right, last measure of the phrase starts on an E, then we go up to an A and down the scale. And you know the next note's going to be A, but that's in the following measure. So fourth measure. I'm going to put the four measures together with the pickup note this time. Again. Okay, second 4-bar phrase starts just the same way with that A and then the arpeggio. And then we start the wasting time measure. But we keep going up the scale because we're going somewhere else this time. And our new ending. But let me play that second measure one time. Up the scale. So we can do our ending. That second to last measure, this is actually an E9 arpeggio. So it's an F sharp, D, B, G sharp, and we're not playing the E at the bottom because we're ending on. So that arpeggio is. Last two measures. So the second phrase of the snowflake hornpipe. Okie doke. Now the entire A part put together. Yes, right. Oh boy, I fooled myself that time. All right, on to the B part. Lots of scales here in the B part right away. So pickup notes are C sharp and D. And like many hornpipes, this starts on the fifth note of the scale. We're in the key of A, the fifth note, A, B, C sharp, D, E, is an E note. So the main note, the first note of the first bar of the B part is an E. With the picks, I'm leaving off the last note because this really carries on to the next bar. And here's its last note leading into the next bar. And the third bar. And the fourth bar is arpeggios. So let me review that because we've got lots of strings of scales. From the beginning of the B part, arpeggio, scales, and up, and down, that's an arpeggio, G sharp, regular E arpeggio there. So again, the fourth 4-bar phrase, first 4 bars of the B part. Pickup notes for the next part are 3 chromatic notes. Right, because we're starting the phrase over again on the E. It's C sharp, D, D sharp, and you're ready for the E note at the top of the next phrase. So a regular chromatic scale from C sharp and on into the next phrase. So that part's just repeated with the pickup notes, the chromatic pickup notes this time. And we have the ending. It's as before with the same sequence. It's C sharp in the source, but I won't mind if you go as it was in the A part. It really doesn't matter that much which note gets chosen there. So let's put the whole 4-bar phrase together. And now the entire 8 bars of the B part. All right, so that's the 8 bars of the B. I'll play it a couple of times through for practice, then I'll put the whole tune together and we'll gradually speed it up. So here's the B part again. And from the beginning, the entire tune, the snowflake hornpipe. So I'm going to talk a little bit about hornpipe bowings because this came up in the live workshop. You can do an across the beat bowing with, hooking two notes together, as in this part. But you don't want to make it too stilted like I just demonstrated. It should flow naturally, and I probably wouldn't do it like everywhere. So there I did it for a short section. The other hornpipe bowing that's quite useful is three in a bow. And the three that get done are like the last eighth note in a bar, and then the first two. The third eighth note is a down bow, and then the next three notes are hooked in an up bow slur. The seventh note of the bar is a down bow, and then the eighth note gets hooked into the next slur. So that kind of bowing would look like this. And again, I probably would not do that many in sequence, but it's good practice that way if you want to learn these special hornpipe bowings. And being able to switch off between them and then just the ordinary down-up dotted bowing. In and out of those slurred bowings, back to just back and forth. It's a good hornpipe technique to know. All right, at the live workshop, those were the only two tunes we did by ear. So the rest of them I'm going to do in a little more abbreviated way. I'll play the tune for you. I'll play it slowed down, and I'll play it faster. We have Star of the East. This is by as far as we know, 19th century composer, Mr. G. Tate. Don't know much about that guy. Tune is called Star of the East, or the Star Hornpipe, or the Second Star Hornpipe. It depends where you get it from. This comes from Kohler's Violin Repository. We looked at Kohler's for a workshop a few years back. In Kohler's, this is called Second Star Hornpipe. That's because there's another tune called Star Hornpipe in Kohler's. It's a different tune. In Honeyman's Strathspey Reel and Hornpipe Tutor, this tune is called the Star Hornpipe. And in Ryan's Mammoth Collection, it's called Star of the East. So I don't think Tate named it the second star. I mean, would you want to be the second star if you could be the first star or the Star of the East? Probably not. So I think that was just a name of convenience because there was already a Star Hornpipe in Kohler's collection. Okay, in its original sources, this is a tune in B flat. Chris Norman, who I learned this tune from, plays it in the key of D. He's playing wooden flutes, so of course D is a more convenient key on that instrument. It is not a more convenient key on fiddle. B flat is actually better than playing in D on this instrument. In any case, in our music, I've presented it in B flat as it is from its sources. Here's the Star of the East. Okay, so something came up at the Fiddle Club workshop as to whether the second to last bar there has an error in it. I'll get to that when I teach through this tune. Let me play it slowly, and then right after I get to the end of the of the slow version, I'll address that second to last bar. Okay, so the second to last bar. Here in Kohler's collection, I looked it up specifically, and it really is B flat, and then repeat the B flat. Now, it sounds a lot better not to be playing B flat right before the... And a simple way to adjust that is to play that. So skipping in the scale. A there. If you want to use the solution that's in Honeyman's it sounds like this. Let me do that again. So it's E flat, A, D, C, leading into the final bar. So if you wish to play it that way, that's great. That's probably how I would do it. But the quickie adjustment is just to change the last note to the A. I didn't change it on the sheet music because it's from Kohler's, and in Kohler's, it has a B flat. I didn't transcribe it wrong. But, one can always run with the theory that Kohler's isn't necessarily correct every time. Also, I chose to use the Kohler's version because it had an author attached to it. And usually if a tune has a composer's name attached to it, it's closer to the source. But that may not be true. And it may be an error in Kohler's. Let's play Star of the East a little faster now. Oh boy, I messed that up. Second try on the B. With the variant way of doing it that time. Yeah, you could play this fast as a dance tune. I'm not going to do that. I think it sounds good as a slow tune. Let's go to page 11 where we have the avalanche. And, I have Star of the East, then the avalanche, then the snowflake. I probably should put a snowflake before the avalanche because you need snow first, right? Okay, here's how the avalanche goes. And the avalanche is by F.A. Morrison. And if I'm remembering right, that's the same composer who wrote the Excelsior hornpipe, which is probably a more famous tune. Okay, here's the avalanche. So this is a tune built on arpeggios, isn't it? Key of A. Like many hornpipes, that B part not only starts on the 5 note, it goes into the 5 chord. So key of A, B, C, sharp, D, E. 5th note is E. So the 5 key is E. That's called the dominant key. And so many hornpipes go into the dominant key, the 5th note of the scale of the original key. And in this case, it stays there for the entire B section. So you kind of have to play it again or go to another tune in the key of A. So here is Avalanche played slowly for practice and then a little faster. I'm going to take note for people who were either at the workshop or printed out the sheet music earlier. There were some corrections made, particularly in this tune. The 4th bar of the 3rd line, so it's the 4th bar of the B part of the tune, had a number of wrong notes in it. We fixed some of them. So the it was written, I'm not even going to play the way it was written badly, but the notes as correct in that 4th bar of the B part are F sharp, B, A sharp, C sharp, B, F sharp, D sharp, and low B. All right, that I checked against my original source, and that is how it should be. Now I will play the Avalanche a little faster. I don't think this is the kind of hornpipe I want to play all speedy for a real-time dance. So I'm going to play it as if for a hornpipe dancer. page 11, we already learned the snowflake hornpipe by ear, so we're going to move right along to Wissahickon Drive. Now, this is a great dance tune. It's by Liz Carroll. She's an Irish style player, American fiddler who lives in Chicago area. And Wissahickon Drive itself is in Philadelphia. It's part of the Wissahickon Creek Park system. You can drive along the creek in the woods, a nice little oasis of wild land in the middle of the city. And this tune has definitely jumped into circulation in Scottish circles. Became popular in Cape Breton. It's played a lot in Cape Breton. The Scottish fiddlers in Boston play it. And then it's kind of jumped over into Scottish repertoire, probably by that Cape Breton means. Here's how it goes. So at the workshop, there were some questions because I noticed that I was playing it differently than how it is on the page. And I have determined that the differences that I normally play are just Elke Baker specials. It's my own personal quirk on it. And that the way it's printed in your Fiddle Club music is the original way. So ignore me if I play a couple of notes a little different here or there and just chalk it up to Elke's variant. So playing it slowly first. One of my variants snuck in right at the end. Okay, so that's Wissahickon Drive. Next tune is the Scaffy's Cert. And so I looked it up on thesession.org, which, that's a good source for a lot of stuff. It's also not a terribly accurate source for a lot of stuff. So one of the alternate names given there is the Scaffy's Carrot. There's no carrot. Trust me. This tune is by Charlie Sherritt. We've had Charlie Sherritt tunes before. Some of them are our favorites. We love the Juniper Jig and the Quarryman Jig. The Scaffy's Cert. A cert is Scots for a cart. And a scaffy is a Scots term for the garbage man. So this is basically a tune called the Garbage Truck. But yeah, and anyway, on the session.org, one of the actual Scots on that forum chimed in and said, "Scaffies dinna ha carrots. Scaffies ha carts." Cats, right? Because it's just dialect for cart. All right, so let me play the jig for you. Make a really fine pipe tune. All right, let's play it slowly. Yeah, I lost my place. I I know I was in the second B. Let's just finish that off. All right. Next tune is another jig, Larry Redican's jig. Somebody at Fiddle Club meeting pointed out that this sounds a little bit like what they call the Wailing Banshee. I didn't find the Wailing Banshee, but I did find the Lilting Banshee, and yes, it resembles the Lilting Banshee, but it's not really the same tune. I'd say that Larry Redican's is different enough to warrant having its own name. And probably Larry Redigan, who wrote it, may have had this lilting banshee tune in mind, back of his mind, when it as an inspiration, because there's some similarities. Not really the same. Okay, I'll play it slowly. A little faster. Okay, next up, got two more tunes for this month's workshop. We have a Strathspey and a reel. The Strathspey is an original tune by Keith Smith, and some of you may know him. He's a lovely Scottish country dance fiddler, just all around good player, and has written a lot of nice tunes. We had a Keith Smith tune before in Fiddle Club, Maggie Layden. I think that was about 3-4 years ago. It was the tune that goes. Is an air like Strathspey. It's really lovely. Well, here's another Keith Smith Strathspey. It's called Highland Shortbread. So I learned that I learned that tune directly from Keith, who I saw this fall. Next tune and the last one for this month's workshop is The Stomach Steinway Man by Ian Lothian. And I don't know if anybody in Fiddle Club, still in Fiddle Club, remembers, but Ian Lothian came and did a workshop for us in our first year, in book 1 year. And he's a tremendously talented accordion player. Just absolutely brilliant. He's written a lot of tunes, probably some ones that you know and like Myra's Jig. Remember Myra's Jig? The abbreviated version of Myra's Jig. That is an Ian Lothian tune. Well, this one, Stomach Steinway Man, he plays the accordion, piano accordion. In other words, the Stomach Steinway. And I don't know if this is written about himself or about somebody else, but whoever it's written for, it's definitely one of those, flashy and virtuosic type of tunes. I learned it from Phil Jones, who's an accordion player from the UK, who I had great fun playing music with this fall. Okay, let's slow that down. is Stomach Steinway Man. And obviously, getting all those pearls is kind of the pitfall of the tune, and you can get in trouble like I did that last round by not having your bow go in the right direction when you need it going the right direction. Now, this tune was not designed by a fiddle player, so there's a lot of times when the bow isn't going the right direction, and you got to work hard to make those pearls happen. If you're playing an accordion, I don't think it's actually all that much easier because you have to do this to do the burls on that one key, and that's a trick in and of itself. So this is just a tricky tune, but it's meant to be a sort of a showpiece. Have fun with it. Those are our dance tunes for the month of December, and I hope you've enjoyed this workshop. Apologies for those who tried to tune in live for the live stream on Sunday afternoon when we had our regular workshop. The workshop was great fun, but we couldn't get our tech to work, and we did not have the right pieces to put it all together and fix the problem that we had. But here at home, everything's running smoothly. Hope you enjoyed this workshop. See you next time.